started the company to deal with zero-emission marine propulsion systems. Our objective is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from ships by 10 million tonnes within 10 years. I've been involved in marine for almost all of my life. My father was a shipbuilder. The genesis of the company really is that I was working in powerboat racing and I wanted to build the fastest, cleanest boat we could. But what I discovered was there's a much greater demand for commercial shipping, and so rather than chasing the fastest, we started chasing the cleanest. So we spend most of our time developing new propulsion systems, integrating things like hydrogen and electric technologies and control systems, and trying to make the marine environment a much safer, cleaner and more advanced environment to work in. We started with SolidWorks pretty much when we started to scale up. The SolidWorks startup program was really beneficial for us right from the very beginning. Starting as we did as a very small two-man operation, we've now expanded. We've got 12 full-time staff at the moment and we're expecting to treble that within the next year. We started with a program where we got our initial systems free, and it was very useful for us to learn how to use SolidWorks properly, and also having that support and that backup from the guys who allowed us to really get to grips with it before we made a major investment on our side for all the staff to use it. We looked at SolidWorks against a number of other rivals, but actually came to the conclusion that it's the one. It's what we need, it does exactly what we want, so let's stick with what is, for us, the best product in the marketplace. The plugins and the different aspects that we can integrate into the design process have been really useful.
I've been with Ecomar Propulsion for just under 2 months now. My main role is the design work for the Orca outboard. So the aim now is to sort of get the next prototype developed and built, prototype tested for early next year. I think one of the difficulties is the electromechanical integration. There's a lot of high voltage electronics involved. I think having a library of connectors and sort of standard fasteners really helps with that. The crucial bit of PDM is revision control, production control, document control, making sure that people only have access to the latest revision of any parts. Everything's kept in the same place, but it also allows multiple users to work on assemblies at the same time. In terms of the aesthetic design, it needs to look and feel like a working product for commercial industry. The externals mostly surfacing. You can sort of generate the outside shell and then use the mould tools to develop the casting.
And we can measure a great deal of the outputs digitally before we make them physically. That means that we're cutting down on costs, that means we're cutting down on wastes, and we're making it, just the whole production process, a lot more efficient and economically viable for a small company like ours.
Go into all the sort of simulation. If you've got the add-on for that, you can do the mould analysis, draft analysis. That's really helpful for prototyping, especially as a lot of the early prototype castings will be rapid prototypes. Used in conjunction with the in-house prototyping tools we've got. We've got a 3D printer. It's handy to be able to print parts out. You get a real feel for the size and shape and strength of them before you can then send them to machining or casting. So yeah, I think it's useful to be able to do all of that in-house.
Innova systems have been great right from the beginning. They've helped us to integrate the SolidWorks into our entire working life. They're always at the end of a phone if we need them. They're throughout the process. And what I particularly like about the way we work with Innova systems is that if we have a problem, we can refer to them, but they also come to us with solutions for problems we haven't yet identified. And that's a really, really useful thing. So Jack from Innova will phone me up and say, by the way, this is a potential solution to what you may face in the future. And often it's the right answer. And that's because they are in contact with so many other businesses, so that when you're in that very blinkered space of your own environment, you tend to miss the things that are coming in the future. So that's been an absolutely brilliant relationship, and I'm really grateful and happy with how that's working. In future, I think SolidWorks is going to be a really useful tool for us As we expand, we're looking to build new facilities overseas and bring in more and more different nationalities and different ways of working. But with SolidWorks being a platform that it is, we're easily able to integrate staff from different countries, different cultures, different ways of working, because it's a known industry standard that everybody can adjust to very quickly. I would genuinely recommend the SolidWorks startup program for new companies. I think SolidWorks has been probably one of the best investments we've made in terms of technology since we started the company.